Hello, everyone.
Hello. You always have to sound like an old grandpa when you do that.
I just wanted to say it's good to see you all here. How's the day go? Would you like a Werther's original? It's not sponsored, but it could be.
Can you imagine we get a sponsor for that?
Sponsor for Werther's original. Ancient ass fox selling butterscotch.
Yes.
Ancient as a human. Oh, I'm old. Welcome in. It's time for another Art Sunday where Gemini watches me bash my head against the keyboard after trying to instruct us on very simple projects. And then I make them much more difficult.
Today should be an easy one, though.
Yeah, shapes.
Shapes and shading and highlighting. As was determined last stream, that is what we'll do.
Things.
The things.
With the vaguely booba-shaped shapes.
What?
It's a circle. It's like booba, kind of like circles. Bowling ball smash against my... Yes. The circles.
Yeah. So, I didn't really set up much today since it's something a little bit more simple. And we were pretty busy this week.
Right.
So we're kind of just gonna go through and wing it. I have a bit of an idea of how I'm gonna go and explain things. I thought we'll start with the simple shapes and how shading and highlighting would work on a basic level. And then after, I will incorporate what we learned with, still simple shape. I was thinking of doing an apple. An apple is always a good place to start.
It does not.
So, when I get to that stage, I will also incorporate color and how to shade with color. That's gonna be it for the lesson today. After that, Fox will try and draw an apple as well and try to incorporate everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were busy most of this week setting up the alternate universe of Lunacira.
Yes.
The cyberpunky stuff we were working on last Friday.
On Friday we started making like 3D model type maps. We thought that it would be really fun to have as a reference, and eventually if we made it into like an RPG game that we stream for everyone, it would be fun to have those kind of detailed maps in color and stuff, since I am not a map maker myself. But yeah, it's been really fun creating that. It's mostly in the Discord server and open to Discord server members only. So if you want to, you should follow us there if you're interested in a project like that. It's not an RP project. I want to make that clear because a lot of people thought that it would be. It's more so Fox and I creating a story for your reading pleasure, but also having it open to insert your OCs if you wish, to make cameos or have roles in the story. And also leaving it open for any type of fan art, like
fan stories too.
Fan drawings, comic books, stories, fanfics,
It may eventually become a tabletop game that we stream.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure that everybody's comfortable with their characters and the setting before we did anything like that. So.
Yeah. So we've been like super busy doing that. We've been working on that in our free time too, even.
Making characters and adapting the former world of Lunacira to the cyberpunk type world.
Yeah, I feel like that's been working out pretty good though. I feel like it's an easy transition to change it into cyber dystopia type scenario. So
yeah, it gives it a lot of background as needed. So the reason this city is in ruin is because it could have been something 300 years ago, but it's already there then. So.
Yeah, so that's been really fun. I'm excited to have more content on that in the future.
I'm in our Discords!
I'm in the Discord! It is definitely an SFW safe server, So just keep in mind that, you know, there's a lot of artists that do like NSFW art and things like that. And the story is definitely going to be NSFW with dark themes. There will be like trigger warnings and stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be fun. I will fall asleep with this stream on. I mean, go get your sleeps if you need it. You don't need to hear me and Fox rambling in your dream state.
Oh no, listen to me talk. It'll be great.
You're very sweet, though.
We'll talk about apples and shading and colors. School.
School. No, school's important.
Look, after the basic school, I agree. once you get out of high school, yeah.
Yeah, at least do your high school well, you know?
Well.
Though I'd be a little bit concerned if you're in high school and in our Discord.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to be an adult 18 plus.
Right.
To be in the Discord.
We had school didn't appear on my. Oh. It's on the chat on the OBS, but it's not on my phone. Maybe my phone disconnected.
I don't know.
It's alright.
So yeah, I guess we can get started. There should be enough people in here now.
Doing the things.
Doing the things. So I thought that I will start with a sphere. I feel like a sphere is a really good way to start with shading and rendering.
Glorious.
I feel like if you do like, you know, cubes or triangles and stuff like that, like they're, as you can see here, it's very simple. Like one side's gonna be lighter than the other side depending on where the lighting's going. I feel like doing a sphere is a good way of having it a little bit more difficult for shading, and also gives you a better concept of shading and lighting when applied to more complex things like bodies or, you know, humanoid things. So
Sin, welcome in the firstest among the first, the most first of the firsted people.
welcome in, Sin. So yeah, so I thought that a sphere would be good to start off. And then after we will do apples. Apples.
Apples and bananas. And Nutella, because Jem likes Nutella.
Nutella.
It's not terrible, it's just not a favorite.
Yum.
I'll lick the spoon, that's about it.
Okay, so let me just do a basic explanation of things.
This is a square that is turned into a cube.
So in this cube, the lighting is coming... Oops.
It does go in the square hole. You're right, Maeve. Welcome in. Hello.
Coming more like from this angle, probably more on the top view since this is the lighter side. So when you figure out your lighting...
Alice.
When you figure out where your lighting is coming from, that will obviously change how things are shaded. So for this one, I think we're going to start with just the lighting coming in this way, more towards the top of the sphere. We could go over backlighting as well.
Hey there, Connie.
Hi, Connie. Welcome in. So if we start with the lighting coming from this angle, maybe let me just duplicate. Because we'll probably do multiples.
Hey, you fool! You know, it's been a pretty good morning. You've melted? Did you go outside? Is it hot out? Outside bad. Don't go outside.
Stay inside.
Yeah, it's too hot.
It is too hot, yeah. It's starting to warm up here, so I need to go to bed. Bye. Bye.
Rest
Sleep
well,
well.
fan. Sleepy.
Ew, don't remind me summer is coming now.
Yeah, no.
Luckily, we have a really good air conditioner here, so we just stay inside. We
Yeah,
just don't go out.
We're also in the basement, so it's fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though they promise snow slush for next week. Oh, interesting. Okay, so back to the lesson. We're getting distracted here.
Always.
You could start off with a basic 3-color shading thing. So one that's the medium color or transition color, then one that is lighter for the highlight, and one that is slightly darker for the shadow. So I'll show you in that basic way. So if we start off with the shadow, we know the light's coming this way. So the shadow is going to be cast... I'm on the eraser.
Erase.
Going to be cast under here.
Using the airbrush?
Yeah, I'm using the airbrush. So you can see the shadow is going to be on this side because the light's coming this way. And then the highlight of the sphere is going to hit in a circular kind of motion like this. Fade out.
Your ability to fade is fantastic.
It's a little bit of fade.
I've fighted for an hour going, it looks like a stripe.
As you can see already, it's starting to look more 3D than it was to start, and this is only with 3 different shade colors, quote unquote. If you want to push it further, then you just start taking shades that are much lighter or much darker. So if we go back to the original dark shade and just put it down a tad, you can put it on the very utmost edges to deepen the shadow, as you can see.
Little sphere.
Blend that out just a little, it helps a bit. So adding just a darker shade more towards the edges helps make it look like it's rounder. Then for the highlight shade, you just go a little bit lighter and focus more towards the center. You don't want to bring it out too far, because if you do, it's going to lose the effect of it being a high point. Everybody on the same board? On the same page?
The page of the sphere.
And again, you could put this even further. You can choose an even darker shade than the darkest shade that you have.
Darkness.
Put it on the very, very, very edge. Don't go in too much. See? And the very lightest shade that you did, you want to go all the way to the lightest part. Make your brush a bit smaller and do like a pinpoint of the highest point of the sphere. Then you got a sphere, you got a shape.
That is shiny.
Yeah. If you feel like you want to put it even further, you can put a little bit more of a highlight on the very utmost edges here. That adds to like undercast. I think that's the term for it. It just makes it even more 3D looking.
What's the like reflected light or
reflected light from the surface of what it might be on. It's not a necessity, but in doing so, I feel like it adds to the overall roundness of the shape. If we go to almost black and add that to the shadow, it pushes it almost further. Okay.
more darkness?
Yeah, you can go as simple as that, really. It doesn't have to be, too complicated. Again, it already looked like it was shaded in 3D with the 3 different shades, which are here on this cube. Just those is more than enough if you know where to place it. And of course, like, sometimes I will have an arrow pointing where my lighting is coming from. A lot of my pieces I use like neon lighting and from multiple sources, so I'll just put those arrows in the directions that the light is coming from, and it helps me remember where the light should be hitting on the object that I'm drawing.
So the darkest point should be on the opposite side of the lightest point?
Yeah. Then another thing that will help is having the shadow casted onto the surface that it's on. So if we're imagining that this is on a flat surface, the light is coming this way, which means that the object is going to cast a shadow in this direction. Okay?
Others.
Yeah. So you can start with the lightest shade if you want. And you're going to go and do a circular shape that's somewhat extended. that is underneath. So maybe more so an oval shape, I guess, because it's extended. The extension is because of the angle of the lighting that is hitting on the ball. If the lighting was coming directly on top of it, the shadow would be a lot smaller and also almost all the way around this way. Make sense?
Yeah, you just have to figure out the direction that the light's going and how far you would need to extend it. So if it was much lower to the table, it'd be a much longer shadow.
Exactly. Yeah. If the lighting was coming this way, then the shadow would go like very far.
Off the screen.
Yeah. Then you can go for your medium tone shade and darken the shadow within the center. You want to kind of do like a false gradient, right?
Yeah, it's really light with the airbrush on that.
Yeah. You see already that it's making it feel like it's becoming more intense the closer you are to the object, because the shadow will be more intense the closer it is to the object. It kind of fades out afterwards. You can take the medium tone now and add that even closer to the object. Weird that there's a light spot there. I don't know why. Anyways. So these 3 tones, perfectly fine. You could leave it like that, but if you want to push it even further, you want to have a color that is as close to the shadow shade of the sphere as possible. To have it right next to it, because that is where the most intense shadow is going to be.
Most thickness of the object being covered by the light, or covering the light.
Yeah. Do you see, in just adding the shadow that is cast in the right direction, placed in the right place, it really makes the object feel way more 3D than it was just before without the shadow. Right?
Right.
Now, this shadow will change. Let's say you want the object to be floating on top of the table. It will be the same type of shadow, except you're going to see more of the circular shape underneath it.
Fun part to think about the being able to do this on here is you could literally just lift that sphere up now.
Yeah. Yeah. So does that make sense for everybody? Think so.
Yeah, I think it's all right.
We're done with that. I'm gonna leave this shadow because no. Now let's do a different type of lighting.
Do dual neon?
Dual neon?
Dual neon.
No, I said I was gonna show how to do like a backlighting. So if the lighting is coming from behind the object, it's the same kind of idea with the 3 different shades and then deepening them further if you wish, or lightening them further. So let's start off with the light color. If it's coming from the back of the object, you're gonna see the there we go. You're gonna see it almost all the way around the sphere. I'm not putting it underneath because I'm imagining it's still on the table. So the light is not going to go through underneath the object unless if the object is not directly on a surface.
Okay.
Sense?
Because it'll have the shadows there. Okay. From being the cast light.
Yeah, so then the darker color, it's going to go all the way around. And also gonna hit the bottom here because there's no light there.
Yes.
So those are the 3 shade colors. You could stop there. It does give the idea already, but if you want to really push it further, like I said, go with a darker color, pinpoint it. put a little bit on the bottom there. A more highlight color. Get it just on the edges. It's basically the highlight is very minimal because the lighting is coming from behind.
Kind of makes the edge disappear often, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then for the shading, because it's behind, the shadow is going to be right here in front of us. So still keeping it in a circular type shape. You lay out your light color, you go and do your mid-tone color, and your dark shade color. I went too far off on it. And then you go for a deeper color just to connect the ball to the surface. There you go. That is a backlit sphere, just so you can see it better. I mean, obviously the light is coming from there, so the background will be light, but just so you can see it better.
Ponder orb.
Okay. That was shaded.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you laughing?
It's gonna go. Now make it transparent.
So that is a backlighting. Backlighting.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. If you want to make something look like it is shiny, you go for a very light color. Make a smaller brush size. Just adding a little bit of shine like this, it kind of makes it look like it's shiny.
Put a circle with kind of a line through it.
Mm-hmm. Again, a really good trick to figure out how the roundness of something looks. You can always go in with a lining grid where you follow, okay, this is the middle line, this is the other middle line, right? Then it will start going out like a globe.
The lines are so smooth. So smooth.
Right? In doing that, it helps you understand how the 3D object is supposed to be. Does that make sense?
How do you determine which direction the shine should go? Like for the lines, just follow the same direction every time. With like all three lines should go at that angle.
It should follow the curve of the shape usually. If we were going for the highlighting here, for an example, I mean, I used the brightest white that I could here for the shine,
Yeah.
but let's say I really wanted it to look like it's shiny, I'll add...
To follow the curve of the object.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Tiny bits.
I don't know what other kind of lighting I should do. Those are like the biggest ones I get asked about, mostly.
The dual lighting?
That kind of comes in with colors, usually.
Oh, okay. Backlighting. You do a lot of straightforward lighting whenever you're doing like portraits and stuff, don't you? Like the light's coming from the front.
Yeah, so it's the same idea as backlighting, except the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have your dark color on the edges. Light color in the center. You want to push that further? Right?
Mm-hmm. Looks like it's moving to me.
Like it's moving?
Yeah, like it's like the white is shifting.
Are you good? Are you on something?
It's the coffee. Sure. The eyeball, it's looking. It's fine. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So that is kind of like the front lighting. The light is coming towards the object, so then the shadow is kind of cast here in the back. Usually you don't really see the cast shadow in this angle, but you can always add a little bit like on the sides here, more towards the back.
All.
So now that we're here,
Wow, wait.
where's the brush that I like?
It says shading brush. It's like the fifth one down.
Let's say we have a little crater.
Mm-hmm.
It's here. Oops. Okay.
Billiard ball hitting too hard.
You can draw it out like this if you wish.
You want like your mid-tone is what you would just draw things in to start with?
This is the dark tone that I started with.
Okay.
Okay. If you want, you can do it on a separate, like in terms of digital art, you can do it on a separate layer. Okay. I'm gonna unlock that layer. So, when something is going inside, the lighter areas are going to be on the outer side, and then it slowly fades into dark. So let's do that on like a really basic way. The dark part's going to be in here, and then the lighter parts are going to be on the edges. So this looks like a really like deep hole.
Yeah.
But it's also extremely abrupt. Like there's no transition colors here.
Looks like it's a hole that goes almost straight through.
So
That's
if
because
you
of how
want to
dark it
make
is.
it smoother and make it more like it's slowly entering into the hole, you have to start using your blending tools and stuff like that. Let me unlock it. I could just use the blending tool here just to start fading that out.
I love the blending tool.
The blending tool is great. See, now it seems like it's more of a smoother transition.
Kind of like a rounder hole at that point.
Rounder hole, yeah. Then you can take your light tone, and if you just add it here to the edges, it'll make it feel like it's actually the light is hitting there. can even put a little bit here on the high points of the hole. That's how you make it look like there's a hole inside of a flat-ish surfaced sphere. Reading brawl shapes.
Sup, brawl?
Welcome in.
We're putting holes in things.
Yeah. I wanted to show how to do this because it's important for apples where the stems go.
Doing all right. Been a pretty good morning. Got breakfast. Chilled. Watched the YouTube zoobs.
Better than putting things in holes?
No, it's not. I mean, yeah.
If you want to make it look like it has a wavy or creased surface, you just mark out where you want those creases to be, while keeping in mind of the overall shape. So I'm making it rounded, right? I'm following the curvature of the shape. So you can blend out the midtones. Cool. You're going to take your highlight shade and redefine the highest points of these folds. I'll keep in mind that you can blend it out. Blending is a friend usually when you're trying to do realistic transitioned shading. Right. Then you take your darkest shade and define the deepest points of the creases.
Looks for like clothing and everything.
Yeah. And then, if you use the blend tool is usually really useful to make it seem like it's much smoother.
We took our perfect sphere, drilled a hole in it, and then scratched the hell out of it.
Yep. In basic form, that's kind of how you do it.
Case of like it being ridged, we like redefine the edge of the sphere usually, right?
If you wanted to, yeah, you could add
You did a bomb beast.
want to make sure that the highlight contains that.
Now it's a buckling sphere.
What?
Like a buckled sphere. It's like it's folding and being squished in.
Yeah.
We left it on the oven for too long. It used to be a bead on a necklace, and then it melted on the stovetop. What happens when I give you plastic jewelry and we get frisky? They melt.
Alright. So that, I hope, makes sense as for how to shade things and how lighting works. Those are like the basic ones.
The highlight at the end is brighter because it's a high point?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want, you could follow it all the way through and you'll see that it'll just look like, oh, okay, that's just the high point all the way through.
Yeah. You're so impressive.
No.
Yes. That's what I heard. I read it on the internet.
Okay. So, this is going a lot faster than I thought.
Right? Have to get a drink, take a breather,
Right?
yawn, stretch.
I guess we'll take some times for any questions if there's anything that you guys wanted me to explain further, if there's anything that doesn't make sense. Any questions for specific shapes or shading, shadows, lighting, angles. Do you have any questions?
I think I've just been asking them. To make that look like it's not as deep of a hole, it would just be a lot lighter, right?
Yeah.
To it doesn't look like it's a hole that goes all the way through, but like a divot.
Mm-hmm.
Really heavy music. Dum, 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 dum. That's I've used the shading brush, not even the airbrush.
Yeah.
You're so still, love.
Don't you want to make that into an apple? Whoop. It's suddenly an apple.
Your bomb. Like the cartoon bomb. Yeah. The ripple bomb. It detonates in shockwaves. That's what it does. It's a new D&D item. Done. The cherry berry bomb.
That is a good point, though. If it is a bomb, there would be a light source there.
Yeah.
There would be a light source right here. If there's a light source there, that means that the lighting of the shape changes. Means that the lighting's gonna be hitting here.
It's fun the way you see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's difficult sometimes to see. Hello, Soleil.
Hi.
Welcome. Hello, Raiders.
Thank you for the raid.
Fox Lunarius and the beautiful Gemini Lunarius. Teaching art about spheres, apples, bombs, and lighting. Welcoming wolves, how you doing? Hello, hello. How's stream? They did a redeem right at the end of stream. Super sleepy, so did a short one. That's fair. This one might be a little bit shorter than normal, just because it's a little bit simpler.
It's a simpler question, simpler thing to teach.
Yes.
Did an 8-hour-ish D&D session. Woof. That's long.
That's awesome. I miss those nights. God, do I miss those nights. We did a 24-hour one that was fun once.
Great. We're gonna do apples.
Apples.
And we're gonna start doing it with colors instead of just grayscale.
I choose purple.
So let's go for a typical red apple. want like a nice little shape, right?
Yeah, like the school apple, you know.
Yeah. What's fun about apples is that they're never perfect, so they could be lumpy.
True. Friends were taking you home. They were like, "You doing all right Saturday?" Looked into it. Found your new favorite spell. What is it? It's the apple.
Mm-hmm. For the sake of everything, I'm gonna make it a lot smaller.
A witch bolt? It's like Jedi electrocute thingy. As long as you stay within that 30 feet, it's fine. Yeah, it's a pretty fun spell. Unfortunately, all someone has to do is run away a little bit from you.
Okay. So I have my basic shape of the apple that I want to have. I locked the layers so that way I can start shading on it and stuff and not go off into the background. So as in one of the examples, we'll do some lighting that's coming from this direction. Okay. What you can do with this is just go with the same shades here, except we all know that apples have different types of colors to them. They're not just simply red or simply just green. There's different types of colors into them. So if you want to go with more realism, you want to have those base colors kind of in place. So I'm going to go for like yellows and greens added to the red apple, and I feel like that's going to help it quite a bit. Go for some greens. Let's put, oops, wrong brush.
Let me check that out. So.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah. So you have to move around.
Yeah.
Moving is terrible. For some reason, I can't do that on my phone. Because it's not a recognized command. I don't know.
So, I'm gonna add some greens here. I mean, I think having a transition like yellow color might have been better to have first. So let's put that.
Traffic light.
Before those two others were killed, the counselors weren't paying any attention. They were making love while that young boy drowned.
Friday the 13th. Great game. Never beat it.
So if you do that, that kind of helps a little bit with the texturing. If you have a brush that can move paint and color around, that would be even better. So I do have a brush like that here, where it like, you see, like pushes colors. Keeping in mind the roundness of the apple.
Do you have a way of helping with figuring out the roundness of those shapes? Like.
Yeah, so I'm doing that right now.
Oh, okay, okay.
Let's say here, this is where the stem's gonna be, so there's gonna be a hole here, or a little dip. Okay. Starting from that point, you can say, let's say this is the middle line.
It's kind of following the outside edge of it as the buckle shape, the bow.
Yeah. As you can see, that's the overall shape. And then the middle line here is going to be quite curved. And it's going to stay curved like that. It's not going to be like a perfect sphere. Perfect sphere kind of has like two lines that are straight, and then you can go off of them like that.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know? You could try to do that here, but I think it's just easier to have it drawn out like that. If you have things that are, you know, more lumpy, so let's say I'm gonna have a lumpy circle. You want your lines to follow that dip. See, already it's kind of like making you feel, okay, I know that this is kind of going inward.
I thought you were dead too. Do you remember very much?
The boy. Is he dead too?
Right?
Okay.
And you can see that that kind of helps you with the overall shaping of the 3D object.
It almost
I
feels
find-
like it's missing a wedge there, like it's buckled in that little spot.
Pulled me underneath the water.
Oh yeah, if you were doing that, it would look different.
Ma'am, we didn't find any boy.
If you want it to be like that,
Then he's
you want these lines to curve and then go straight in.
Okay.
That would look more like...
Mm-hmm.
So if you keep that in mind, that helps you.
Get food, Soleil, enjoy. Munch, munch, munch.
Enjoy your foods. If you want, you can have it a little bit more texturized, but keeping in mind that you're following that grid
To do the textures.
to do the textures.
So the
Following that grid.
you're gonna pull the color in those lines in those directions.
Yeah, because apples just look that way. They have lines and textures in them. So in doing this on your base, it's going to help you out quite a lot with making it look like it's realistic. It's kind of like patterning on clothing and things like that.
Okay.
Even the reds of the apple, I'm going to do some...
This is just streaks of color at this point. You're just blending the colors in lines.
Yeah. And you see you doing this, it kind of is already forming more of a shape. Okay.
You did like big strokes and then smaller strokes.
Mm-hmm. With real apples, when you really look at them, they have that kind of texturing.
Yeah.
Pretty easy, eh?
Yeah, I never would have thought about it at all
Mm-hmm.
that way.
Mm-hmm. So now that you got your base texturing, coloring done, you got all the colors you want to have on there, there is barely any shading in this. Okay. The only thing that might make it look like it's starting to shade is the darker red colors, but that's just part of the skin tone of the flesh of the apple.
Yeah, I think the yellow, since it's brighter than red, kind of makes it look like it's got the highlight there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, on the same layer, you can take your red, deepen it, and keep it saturated. Do not go into the black and white line here because it's going to make your shadows look gray.
Still have a real problem with it.
Yeah, so this goes for like when you're shading a person as well. I tend to avoid pure blacks or pure grayscale on things, especially when there's color involved, because it just adds a grayish tone to it, especially on skin. It'll just make it look like it's really dry or ashy or, you know. So if you want to keep it looking like it's smooth and rich and just a natural kind of shadow, if you look at real life, real shadows are not, there's no pure black or white in it. The only time that something might have like pure white is if it's wet and has like a little spot of shine from direct sunlight or direct light.
What's it, blinding, yeah.
Yeah. That's the only time that you'd see something like that, but shadows, they're only pure black if it's like the dark, really dark, dark, dark.
The dead of night
Mhm.
in a cave.
Yeah, then things kind of look a little bit more grayscale in that sense, so. Okay, so I'm taking a very saturated dark red color. You can go for the airbrush tool to do this. And like I said, the light is going to be coming at this direction, like the first sphere that we went over, which means that the darkest part of the apple is going to be here
On the same layer.
on the same layer. Also, because there's a dip here, there's going to be shadow.
Okay.
Then you can take a very bright color of red to highlight this side of the apple. This is very saturated in color as well. Just so you can see where your highlights are going to be.
That'll be the brightest parts.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you guys how to use the add glow layer. You turn it into an add glow layer.
Layer effects are great.
Yeah. When you do this, you can go on the saturation and white color line, and if you go more to the extreme directly on that line, it's going to be a lot more intense of a glow, and I tend to usually always put it on that line, on the triangle there. So when you do this, let's say we choose an orange, so it's kind of like a more in-between tone of the greens and yellows and stuff that are in the apple. Just to test it. It just adds a highlight very naturally on that area. If we wanted, because we know it's more in the green area, we could try it with a green light color. Erase that for now. Try it. So it kind of has the same effect.
Each color section you need to kind of color accordingly.
Yeah, it's better. It really depends. But like here, you're gonna have some highlights going. And this is like very intense in highlights. If you don't like using the add glow layer, then just keep using this and using the colors that you want, which is just lighter variations of the colors that you already have in the piece. If I do it intense like this, having a few spots here and there, that kind of helps a bit. On the very edge of the starting of the apple, you're going to have more of a defined highlight.
Oh, on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Switch to the orange to blend it between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And you just using the shading brush to blend the colors together?
I've just been using the shading brush. Making sense?
I mean, I see what you're doing is obviously working. I don't understand why you're choosing to put the highlights in some of the places.
So the light's coming in this direction.
Mm-hmm. So like at the top of the apple, where that makes sense there, but like the one on the side, I don't understand. 'Cause it's not
This side?
on the right side.
Side?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not pointed just there. The light kind of shines like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be hitting those areas. Right?
Okay. In my mind, I don't see it as being a high point just because of the way I look at the shape, I think. Yeah. I just have to figure that out in my mind.
When the light's like this, it's kind of highlighting in a circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hitting the highest point here. It's gonna hit here because that's also a high point in the shape.
Yeah, it's for the...
And then this line here is because it's within the lighting.
Okay.
That makes sense? Is that more easy?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. So then, did you do the green above that orange as well?
Just a little bit here because it's like a high point.
Okay.
And now, because the apple usually is pretty shiny, you can go for a full white as a highlight. Okay.
Blend it out.
You don't necessarily have to.
Hmm.
Hit a little bit if you wish. I find having the spots make it look like it's a lot more shiny.
Mm-hmm.
You could also go with like a circle shading like that, you know? Some people do that if it's stylized.
What's circle shading?
Just exactly what I did.
You just make a circle?
Mm-hmm. It's like making it look like it's glossy.
Oh, okay. Like there's something reflecting on it almost?
Mm-hmm. Let's put a background color in.
My eyes!
Hmm.
My eyes!
But it's on
What?
just the shading here a lot more deeper.
Still in the red?
You see, in adding more highlighted colors, it kind of makes the divots feel like they are also bumped.
Yeah, the shadows and highlights gives it more of a shape.
But again, if you can see really closely here, it's still very light. I want to make sure that it is as dark as it can be right on the edges. That's like where it's going to connect to the shading on the table.
Okay. You have to blend the shadow of the apple onto the shadow of the ground.
Go ahead and do that. So the light's coming this way, which means the casted apple is going to be in this direction.
You're using like a dark blue for like the table, or the black.
Dark blue, almost black.
Okay.
Okay. Now the trick about things, especially when they're shiny, usually there's going to be like some form of reflection from the table onto the apple. So that dark blue, you can put it right on the edges that are connected to the apple.
Mm-hmm.
Now it really feels like it's connected to the table and touching the table.
On the edge
Also,
of
you
the
can take the color of the table, make it very light. Add that little bit,
like your shiny area.
the shiny area, because it's casting a little bit of light in this area. Which also means that the table will be shaded in a way that matches what I'm doing. Yep. Get the color of the table. There's gonna be lighting here.
From where the light
From where the light is
whatever
coming
light
from.
source is coming from.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can add the stem.
If there's more grippers or something I get for the bottom of that thing where it can slide it easily.
Yeah, probably. Probably could get them at the dollar store.
Yeah, like the little furniture footies or something.
Mm-hmm. So the stem as well is going to have a little bit of shading to it. Dark side here, lighter side.
The browns. I find it really hard to find the browns in the orange section.
Why?
I don't know, it's just difficult for me to find them in there.
There you go. Have yourself an apple.
Apple.
An apple that is shaded.
Mm-hmm. Really impressive though.
You could change this to like a really dark color as well. More.
What's without color?
Background.
Oh. There it goes.
And you could add an add glow layer.
Misty lighting. The heavens blessing the apple. Oh.
It's weird, it's not. There you go. How you shade with color, learning basic shading.
Mm-hmm. My apple is not going to look anything like that.
That didn't take too long to do it, so.
It's like 30 minutes.
Yeah, usually I feel like the main thing when you're adding more color to things is to make sure that your base has all those colors placed beforehand, the textures are placed beforehand, and then if you do your shading and highlighting on top of that, then you just follow the rules of how the shadows and lighting will fall, and you're kind of good to go.
Have to burn those in.
Does anybody have any questions that are watching? Any of our viewers? Any of our foundlings?
The peeps. What the people doing?
I hope that everything kind of made sense. I know that sometimes I'm like, and you just do this, and then you do that, and voila.
And what you do is you just do this highlight the right way 7 times, and then everything looks fine. That's all you have to do. What's the problem?
Yep, pretty much.
I think I run into the problem of I don't know exactly where all the highlights and everything's go. So then I sit there in choice paralysis going, where does it go? I put it somewhere.
Yeah, I think you just have to really keep in mind, like, where the high points are in the shape. So the same thing goes for, like, a face. You know, the high points are going to be the cheekbones, the chin, the nose, or the forehead, you know, the brow bone area. So those are going to be the lighter colors, and everything else is going to be darker or even darker, depending on if they go in really deep.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Like the sunken face.
Yeah. Like your cheekbones.
Right.
You're all frozen.
I am all frozen. Like it keeps like
Frozen in fear.
I move and then it starts like picking back up. There
Yeah.
you go. See.
I don't know. I feel like I don't freeze as much as you do.
I think you move a lot more than I do when you're sitting here.
Yeah, probably. I try to be active,
Screw
as
that.
active as possible.
I'm a vegetable, and I will sit here and just exist, take up root.
Yeah, I feel like this also kind of applies, like the way I do layering and stuff also applies for like traditional painting and stuff. Usually you start with your base colors. Usually you do the you can do the background last, but you have to like not, paint over the subject that you drew and stuff. Like you can't just do it easy like how I did the background last or whatever. But in terms of like layering and doing details, usually you do your base colors, you start adding your textures and detailing and extra colors that you want to add. Then afterwards you start, deepening certain things with shading and highlighting. Yeah, you just need to understand where it's supposed to be placed in the shape. And I find like learning how to grid shapes, like I showed, does help with figuring out how it's curved and where the deeper parts are and where the higher parts are. So feel like in doing that can help a lot of people.
No. I'm gonna F up an apple. Alright, we'll be right back. We'll swap over and I'll scribble on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You with your frozen open mouth.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Oh.
Dumbfounded. Dumbfounded.
We'll be right back. Be back.
Bacon. Look, I'm done. I finished the apple. I did it all off screen. Everything's fine. Made the apple. Oh, here. I know. There we go. See? Perfect. It fits. Absolutely. Yeah, it's perfect. Yay! Glorious void.
It's your turn.
I don't know where. Bed. Come on. Someone.
Also, welcome in, Potato.
What's up, Tato?
Potato.
How you doing, darling? La 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 la. Stream's been going very well. Just terrified of what I'm about to work on.
It's just an apple.
This is just an apple. Fox, draw the shape of an apple. Something.
Use a flat pen.
Yeah. Something. It's an apple. kind of like this.
Doing good. Hope you two are well. Yeah, we're doing good. Yesterday, I was really ill, so we had to cancel our collab stream that we had planned. Unfortunately.
Yeah, just wasn't working out very well.
Yeah, and all day I just felt really awful, but towards the end of the night I started to feel better.
Yeah.
So here we are. I am still feeling better today, so I'm glad that it didn't happen again.
Right. Right. Look. Apple.
Good to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, how you doing, Tater?
I have a pen. I have an apple.
Does it?
Ha! Apple pen.
Apple pen. There's an apple? You have a shape of an apple?
It's a very bumpy apple.
It is a very bumpy apple.
You can make it a bit bigger too.
Okay, I can just,
A bit crooked too. I feel like it would topple over. There you go. That's a bit better. Nice.
with its terrible bumpy edges.
Yeah, I don't know why you used that pen.
I used the regular pen you said.
Use a flat pen, is what I said.
I don't understand it.
What do you mean?
There's two pens I use, this one and the shading pen. Do you want like the smooth line art pen? Is that...
Yes, that's what I used.
Well, I don't have one readily here.
The mapping pen is great.
Well. Apple.
An apple.
It's the shape.
A little bit beaten, but you know, probably still just as sweet.
I doubt it. Oh, but tastes like worms.
Mmm, delicious.
Worms.
Nom 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 nom.
I find this humorous.
Yeah. It's a good shape though. It's good.
Yes, this is what I meant by I love how smooth your lines are, like the form of like, oh, here's the circle, this is the edge. Whenever I go to correct it, I'm like, okay, that's a smooth edge. That's a smooth edge. And then I'm like, none of it matters. It doesn't look. All of my my characters have cellulite because I can't get the shape to be a smooth curve.
If you look at my apple's also lumpy.
That's right, then.
I even said it's okay if it's somewhat lumpy because apples are lumpy.
They are lumpy. I love the apple.
Yeah.
Lello. What the spray thing? Hello. Well, I thought flat colors should be used.
What?
To do the coloring for the layers. For the,
I used a mixture of the airbrush and the shading tool.
Like so?
Mhm.
Alright. Make this into a good one. I love it. See that. Alright.
Now you want to do the texturing of the surface of the apple.
That's the shady brush and move it up and down.
Yeah, following the curved lines.
So how I need to pick the colors that are in there to move up and down?
Yeah, and you can also go back with the red if you want to fix things, you know? The darker shade of the red and a bit of lighter shade of the red as well. To add dynamic texture.
On the green. So
Oh, it's stretched!
did it? I feel like that's a lot harsher than what yours was.
Yeah, your brush is also a lot bigger. Music is bussin'.
Yeah, it's the old Super Star Kirby stuff.
Nice.
Is that not right? Does it go all the way?
Remember to follow the curved lines of the apple.
This is the curve of the apple, like so. the apple would curve like that.
Mm-hmm. So make sure all of your lines are within the right curve line. So if you're doing it, remember you have like a grid. All of the lines are going to follow those lines. Also make it a smaller brush.
It's very rare for you to tell me to make a smaller brush. I'm almost always told, make that a bigger brush. It's funny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Better?
Normally the curvature will follow from the whole of the apple.
Okay.
Also choosing a color like blue would be better against red. So you can see it better. There you go. Looks suspicious.
Sauce!
Mm-hmm.
Shaky that line is.
Ah, it's an apple.
Good. Oh my god. Make a line. Ah! La da 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 dum. 30 minutes later. Can't make the curve. Okay. Back to what I was doing.
I think the first thing we ever worked on together was apples.
I think that's pretty close. Yeah, I think so. This brush. The shady brush. Smaller?
I think that's fine. It's hard to see.
And then just start there. Green. Red. Where does the red just go? Like,
It's just to help you texture it. If you want, you can look at my other apple as a reference.
it's so far past the beginning stage, I won't remember.
So you'd be able to see what the textures look like.
We have a lot of long stripes. In a lot of different colors.
Yep. I think your brush could even be a very small apple.
Look, we're not here to talk about size.
Yes. There you go, you're getting there.
I don't know how far to go with it.
As far as you want. The more, the better.
In theory. Alright.
Now don't forget to texturize the red parts as well.
Very.
With a darker red color and a lighter red color. Nothing too intense. If you guys are drawing along with us, you can always tag us on Blue Sky to see it, or if you're in the Discord, just share it there too.
That's true. We have the Your Art section, and there's a fan art section too.
Yeah. Go. It's texturizing.
Feels so different.
Well, it's a different shape as well. No two apples are the same.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good.
Okay.
Find a place where your hole is going to be for the stem. We all want to see our hole.
That's true. Just a real dark red.
Yeah. At least to lay it out.
Separate layer.
I did it all on the same layer.
Alright.
Good luck.
Yeah. Darker than that. Was that good?
It's a very small hole. And it's very much towards the edge.
I feel like this was kind of along the edge. It's right there at the top.
It's shaded though. Do we all love watching Fox struggle? Because I do. Maybe that makes me evil.
Maybe. But further, closer.
Pretty good.
Okay. Follows where the lines were all going at least.
Point.
Okay.
If you want, you can make the circle follow the line that's there for your apple. This line. So that means the hole would be more like in this area, you know?
Over here?
Hmm?
Okay.
How you drew your apple. Yep. Nice.
Alright.
So now you need to do the basic shading and highlighting.
Again, all on the same layer.
That's what I did. You remember you want it to be a dark red color, but still saturated fully. Or else you're gonna get brown.
There's the red. I have to go down some.
I would go down much further than that. Keep it directly on the saturated line.
Okay. Alright.
Looks correct to me.
Okay. There's that. Small little spots there, went there, like this.
Mm-hmm.
I like the little apple.
Mm-hmm. Now the highlight.
Highlight.
We should post both of our apples.
We should post both of our apples.
Yeah.
It should not post mine.
No, both of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's terrible.
Listen, part of our stream, we gotta show that we streamed today, right?
That's true. Like those.
Hmm?
Kind of goes here, and then this is the top side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want it to be like a light color? I don't see anything there.
A lot lighter.
There you go. Apple of my eye. No.
Oh, yes, I was sweet.
To who?
Yes. So that's the base highlight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now you want to further it by using like almost white colors. and add your spot on the apple. Highlight a spot.
Almost white color. Yeah,
Circular, never lines.
never mind.
If it's a round shape, always do circular motions. Better. Bigger brush.
See, I told you, bigger.
You just didn't increase it at all.
I did. I went from 800 to 1200. Literally went all the way up.
Just don't put it all the way at the tip here. Put it here, you know.
Yeah. It's all parts of knowing even where it's supposed to go.
Yeah. Comes with practice. You're putting it in way too far. Now get the edge.
Just this here. This would have a little bit.
Yeah, and that can be brought in a little bit to follow the curve of the shape there.
Right. Here.
Yes, but it's gonna also curve in a little bit here because this is also a high point. Below the hole.
Hold it.
Now you can further those details with not the airbrush tool.
The shading brush.
Use a white
Right.
and intensify the main highlights. Airbrush.
There you go. It's funny how when you do this, you don't get the shape of the brush. I wish it was round. Take this weird smudgy stick. Weird shape.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I can't do anything with it.
And if you don't like it, use a blend tool.
The edges there. Yeah.
So just take a look at what I did with my apple and try and recreate that for the chimes.
$600. Such a key looking. Doesn't make the round shape obnoxious.
Well, you're also not blending out the edges. I think you have a hard time using that type of brush.
So, because you're doing pressure variance as you're doing it, and yeah, you know, I can just blend out the edges.
And then again, the highlight's gonna go like right against that line.
Like that.
Line. You have a smaller brush for it too, if you want.
Right. Like that. blend it out further?
Not really.
Okay.
And then the very edge of the apple where the highlight is, you want to add a little.
Alright, shiny apple.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can do the background.
Okay. Yeah. Hello. Listen to the machine chug. Painted on a thingamabobber around the table.
A different layer.
Different this one.
No.
Let's do that now. Don't get it.
Not that brush. I used a flat brush again. That did nothing.
Oh, it's perfect. Oh. Alright. And then the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
We're already so dark. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
I guess I could redo one.
Just lock the table layer.
Button. Very good. Darker. Lights this way. Circle. Let's see, squat.
Make it darker if you can.
This random red dot here. Yeah, it's like the base shadow, right?
Darker closer to the.
Close to black. The apple's gonna have to be darkened also.
Also, your cast shadow is more like if the lighting was coming behind the apple. It'd be more towards the side of the apple.
This way.
A little bit more, yeah.
This way.
The lighting is hitting the apple like here.
Right here. Go. This way.
Yeah, but it's more like where the apple is directly. It's not behind, right? Here. Which means the shadow is going to be more here.
The shadow needs to be horizontal going.
A little bit more.
So you go this way.
How's everyone doing? Everyone's one.
You better be. Okay.
Incoming ads!
So you have like two circles, this and this.
I don't see it.
Be darker. You're too close to the muted.
I was vibing. You just stuck your tongue out randomly.
Take that.
I can do that too, but I have to click the button.
Yeah, you have to click it.
The very edge should be dark.
Almost black.
And the bottom part as well. Ah, ad break.
Take a break. Blink on.
Doo doo. Blink on.
Like so.
Yeah, that's a bit better.
It feels like it's like super bright.
Make it darker.
It must just be the contrast between the blue and the red, because like it's not. It feels like there's a white line around it.
Because did you use the same shadow color that you just used on the bottom?
I don't know.
Or did you change your shading color?
I'm just talking about the red to the blue. Like it looks like there's a white line almost around it. That's how. Why is it not doing that when I do it?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Sorry, that's really funny.
I just don't understand. Like that?
Yeah, I would fade it out a little bit more into the apple so it's not so harsh. Also, I would deepen the deepest part of your whole same color.
Airbrush still.
I'll just make it smaller if you need it.
I guess there.
The deepest part's gonna be inside the apple, so like very close to the edge.
It's close to this edge. To the downward side.
Oh, your brush is way too big. It's gonna be like here. Then you fade it out. You could use the blend tool.
The faded.
Oh gosh.
Zoom in. Enhance.
Go.
Alright.
Now just like the stem and background work.
I'll find the orange. There's a brown. Mapping tool again. Like a straight line.
Mhm.
still don't.
That is the straightest stem I've ever seen in my life.
It's right. Well, you know, sometimes you got to.
Also, the end of the stem, I feel like it's better if it's like a wider type of shape.
A wider shape.
No. Opposite way.
The end of the stem. There we go. I can't vary the pressure. I don't. No.
I'll show you.
I can't vary the pressure.
You do your stick,
Yeah.
and then you draw the end of the stick.
Thought you were talking. Okay. Anyway.
That was comedic. That was the best timing ever. Oh no, I'm laughing too hard. It's gonna hurt me.
Don't laugh.
Gosh, that was good.
Right.
Whew.
Alright, whatever. There's a stick.
Yes.
We got a stick.
Should go all the way into the hole.
Well, you know, sometimes just the edge is enough.
Just the tip. Right, now time to shade it.
Darkness.
Darkness and lightness and darkness.
Wish it was a different layer, but that's fine.
Why didn't you do it on a different layer?
Because you said you did everything on one layer.
Except for the stem.
Oh my god.
Oh shoot.
Uh,
Struggle's real. You have a memory of a goldfish.
I do not.
Yes, you do.
You literally said you did everything on the one layer.
Yeah, and when I actually did it, I said the stem on a separate layer,
Yeah.
so you can shade it and lock it. You have to remember my teaching lessons.
I don't remember where we are.
That's funny. I don't remember where we are.
Mortal Kombat. No.
What does Mortal Kombat have to
The
do?
dude screamed in the background. That's Mortal Kombat.
Oh, that felt so strange.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny. Oh boy, that's so funny. Whew.
Light's gonna be over here on the highlight.
Go darker. I was still laughing about the thing.
Right.
Whew.
Okay.
Do a little variation of dark at the tip there. Technically it's cut off, right? So there's gonna be like a little shape there. Sure. Now the highlight.
Highlight. You what? Up here. Along here. That looks more rounded. Dark a little.
Ooh, excuse me. Sleepy.
Like a baby. Alright.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright. Have yourself an apple.
I mean, it kind of looks like one. Yeah.
What do you mean, kinda?
Kind of looks like one.
Looks like an apple.
Yeah. Missing like some detail in here, I think. Hold on. What's the shape over here? I hate that I can see what it's missing, but I don't know how to make it not missing those things.
Just takes practice and confidence, I think. Confidence to try things and undo it if it doesn't look good.
Give that apple or not, yes.
Did I try the old model thing to see if it works?
No, if you want to give it a go. You
What
have
is
to,
it?
you'll have to tell it which model you want.
Model swap. And how long is it? For like 5 minutes?
I think it's like 10 minutes.
That's so long.
I don't remember how long I have it on.
We should change it to 5 minutes, especially if it's 500 points.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's on.
Pick which season you want.
Yeah, so all it should do is it should tell me that I need to switch the model over. Yeah, so when it says spring, then I have to push the button. Then I have to push the button to tell them to go back to where he goes.
Oh.
Hello. Since there's two of us.
Oh gosh, you're so big.
I am big.
Oh!
This is when I first kissed you.
Huh?
In these models.
Yeah, that's true.
Almost white.
Yeah, it's fun that you have the redeems for the old models so they can still thrive and not be forgotten.
Yeah. Find the apple.
10 minutes, however, is much too long.
Probably. 5 minutes is probably enough.
Maybe even just 2.
Since it's a pain in the butt for me to change them, I don't want to have to sit there and do it a bunch.
Then you should make it higher points.
I could make it higher points, but...
It's cool to see the 2 different styles.
Right? It's totally different now.
But you keep sniffing the back of my head.
Look, it's true to life. It's fine.
It's true. You do sniff me a lot. Look at his face.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. What am I doing? Another round to this one. Something.
And the edge will be highlighted.
At the edge of the table.
Mm-hmm. Much brighter than that.
That is. Much brighter. Periwinkle.
Oh. The other end is going to have some light in it too. Sounds like Fox in the background.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice little witch cackle.
Like so? All good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
What's missing here? The definition of that edge in the back of the apple.
You can add highlight.
That's yeah. I don't understand. Like I know something needs to be here, but I don't know what needs to be there.
You can add highlight like here. It's a high point.
Here? Like it feels like something needs to define this curve.
You're hiding behind me now. It's very weird.
I think it's just where the model positioned itself. Because whenever I'm by myself, it'll realign to where you're standing.
Yeah, I think just this model in particular moves around a bit much.
He moves around a lot.
Yeah.
The new one, I turned a lot of the movement settings down. Should this be darker behind here?
Could be. I think it looks fine. You can increase, like, fade out the shading of the hole.
Hey, Bacon.
Hello.
What's up, Bells?
Nice apples.
Thanks.
Ha.
So this is mine. Oh, put it in a folder, I suppose. This is Gems. Oh, oh. There you go. Distinct difference. Which is alright. Things happen. 20 years of experience versus whatever the hell I've had. Apples. Apples.
Apples.
Apples. Just be like, something needs to be here to say that it's a shape.
No, I don't see it.
No, that's fine.
There you go. You got your apple. You did it.
That's an apple. Love the apples. Delightful. The redeems still are jacked up. They're not saying that they're not.
Yep. You can swap back now.
Button. Fox learned that apples. Ah! Oh god, that's the horns immediately. Oop.
It's so big.
Thank you. So today was a lot of color shading on different shapes. The apple is very lumpy, but it works.
My apple's lumpy too.
It's very, very lumpy. It was almost a heart at the beginning. Alright.
That is good to learn. Yeah.
It is good to learn.
It was decided last week to do shape shading, simple shape shading. So.
Yeah, wait a minute. Box. Boop, 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 boop.
Oh, where's my stem?
Nope. Nope.
There you go.
This one too? Was that like an example of writing?
It was an example, but you can put that in and turn it down a bit.
7. Gems. Blah, blah, blah. There we go. I got them screenshotted.
Nice. We'll post them on Blue Sky later.
The reflection looked really nice on the top. The fox's apple. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, I think it works out fine. The only thing that's bothering me for whatever reason is just that section.
I think that section's fine.
Yeah. Just feels like it loses a shape there.
I don't think so. I think you're crazy.
I probably am crazy. Generally, that is true. Yes. Yeah. All right. What would everyone like to see for next week? What did we have?
I thought I could teach hair shapes.
Oh, hair. Right.
How hair kind of works.
Should make a list of all those.
So it would be a lot better if it was a Granny Smith apple.
I do love Granny Smith apples. That is fair. You know, there's a way to. Boom, 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 boom. Color. Pick a nice green. Gonna lose a lot of the other shades that are in it, but there's a mostly green apple. But, yeah.
Oh, that's a sexy apple.
Fox's ass. Right there.
You're no longer green.
Whatever.
You're greenish gray.
I am.
And in Cyber Sierra, bluish gray.
Very cool tone.
Yeah.
Here, look at that. Just change the whole thing. Alright, want to do hairstyles next week? How to do general hair?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that people want to have covered before hair.
Do a head shape and then change. Got the same hair, same head model, and then just change hair shapes.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that changes the way a face looks?
Yeah.
And how much of the face you cover with hair, even though you took all the time to do the face.
Yeah.
Agreed. I'll just forget about it later and be pissed.
Well, I don't even think we need to do a poll then if nobody has any things that they want me to go through next week. We'll probably just do hair then.
Alright. That'll be the goal. Alright. Well, that's what we plan on then next week.
Yeah.
Let's see whom is doing what on the Twitters and the Twitches and the whatevers.
Yeah.
The interwebs. The hypernet. The tubes of you.
Probably think of something. Well, I mean, better if it's said now. People know what to expect for next week.
But you're welcome to give us a list in Discord. That'd be great. If there's
Sure.
like random other things you want to learn about,
Yeah.
let us know. DMs are open. Minecraft, Elder Scrolls, Skyrim.
Oh gosh.
We can go about news, I suppose. I don't think anybody else is doing any art. Yeah. Next week we'll raid Eisen. We'll go raid news again.
Okie dokie.
No, that's 6 hours. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, we'll be back, what is today? We'll be back Friday. Ah. The Loomis method or face structures.
I did face structures, yes.
We did faces last week? Week before? I don't know what Loomis method is. I'll have to explain
I
that.
think it was last week.
Is the Loomis method the different tiltings and everything? It's alright. That'll be up next week on YouTube. You'll have that available.
No, I think it's already up.
Is it?
Yep. I think it's already up on YouTube.
There you go. There's YouTube. Ah, it's finally fixed. Yeah, it'll be up there. I can double check it after this.
Is it fixed? I can't click on the YouTube link.
But I mean, at least it's there. Yeah, I can click on it.
Yeah, look at mine.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
All right. Well, we'll see you all next Friday. Take care and have a wonderful time. Say hello to Noose, very lovely fellow silly court member.
Thanks for coming in.
Bye-bye. Oh, hey, yeah, the basic face structures is up now.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe I can grab a link real quick. Where's the link? Content. Link. No!
Didn't even get to say bye because of all that. I didn't say bye.
Welcome in. So if you don't know Fox, they're a very friendly, silly quarter. Oh, thank you, Ruggy. And they're very worth a follow. Thank you for the raid. If you need to do post-stream stuff, definitely don't hesitate. Also, my name's Noose. I need to say that when people raid so people know how to pronounce it.